Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Rochester Press Box and the football season. It's kicked into full gear. Are you guys like too sophisticated to be excited about the start of the NFL season?
Too sophisticated? Been waiting for this for
above
weeks.
all this?
No. Give me all of it. The drama, it's more up in the air this year than I think in any other time in NFL history.
Do you not see me punching the air?
I know better to ask you that. It's great, isn't it?
They got a puncher's chance. The Bills got a puncher's chance.
Better than a punch. I'm going to punch you.
I know, yeah, it's already
Denver's
started.
got the puncher's chance.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
And the Bears. That was the other team that I was on.
Oh, yeah, I should have picked that too. No, like I have been on Cloud 9 all week. I've been wearing my different Bills jersey every day, going out and showing people. I feel like I have like a new dog because I got a bunch of jerseys I haven't worn yet. Like, drink it out. James Cook, I feel pretty good about himself.
I think he's underrated. As we go into the season, I think people are underrating him. Because he's not considered among the elite running backs, but his statistics tell you otherwise.
Well, yeah, but he's also splitting the backfield with two other guys that play pretty consistently. Now you got me saying bad things about James Cook, and I love James Cook.
How are you going to contain yourself for the hours it's going to take before they get to Sunday Night Football?
Well, I will be in the parking lot starting at noon drinking a lot of beers. That is my plan
What
for Sunday
parking
night.
lot are you going to other than your house?
The game's it's at Buffalo. It's a primetime game. I got my season
At
tickets.
8 at night.
Yeah.
We got to pick the Bills' records. I'm going to give you first shot at it. How do you see them finishing up this year?
14-3. Is that fair? I would say 14-3 this season. I don't really see the Jets or the Patriots coming close to them this year. Maybe they put a scare in them going forward. Neither Miami. I am worried about Baltimore.
Well, yeah, they're arguably
worried about that one of the three being Baltimore.
It's a coin flip kind of game. I mean,
We're going to be picking that in segment 2.
I hate to say I'm leaning towards Baltimore, but I'm not leaning towards Buffalo.
Look, I mean, you're more actually optimistic than I am. I think a 12-5 season is what the Bills are looking at here. I think the way it's 11.5. I would take the over at 12. I mean, I don't think the Bills are going to sweep the division again, right? As better as they are as all those other teams, you're going to lose a game or two to New England, New York, or Miami.
And my fear is it's setting us up for disappointment because, as you mentioned early in the season, they're going to be favored in every game they play. If they lose 3, 4, 5 of those games, it's going to feel like, that this team underachieved when they probably haven't.
Well, so here's the thing. I do think the way the schedule is laid out, the Bills are going to have a phenomenal schedule going into the bye, coming out of the bye, going into Kansas City. It starts to get a little bit rocky when you have Kansas City, then you have Houston, then you have Cincinnati, right? Like it gets a little choppier. I think 12-5 is a remarkable season, something that gets you close to the first overall seed in the AFC. Let's shoot for that.
But it doesn't mean you've lost 5 games you were favored to win.
Well, again, it depends on how the season plays out throughout the rest of the year, right? Because Cincinnati, they're favored against Cincinnati right now. If they come out, find out a way to make that defense work and score points the way that they have, maybe you're not favored.
I'm kind of shocked he picked 5 games. I mean, it's not that far off from 3 games, but in a sense. But I'm thinking to myself, you've got to run through every single team. And the only teams that scared me are maybe the Baltimore's, the Kansas City due to the history. Mm-hmm. But other than that, the Buffalo Bills should be favored, like Bill said, in every single game.
Yes. And it's interesting, Vegas, like you mentioned, like 11.5. I said, that's low because I'm split the difference. I think it's 13-4. But that's like 2 games more than Vegas thinks, and I really respect Vegas.
No, and that's just it. I think people underestimate how close these NFL teams legitimately are, right? How the lower end of talent on a roster is, how close it is, with the exception of 15 guys in the NFL, Josh Allen being one of them, that are just superstars. There's a reason why it's 11.5 and not 14. There's a reason why it was so amazing last year that the Chiefs managed to win 10 one-possession games. Like, that does not happen. I'll take 12 wins all day.
This is our 14th season premiere. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Syndicated local sports shows go 14 years. And a thanks to Channel 13 for tolerating us all this time. We're going to talk Buffalo Bills next as Greg Connors comes in on the Rochester Press Box. We'll be back. Just passing through. Life lessons from notable Rochesterians. People you may think you know. Don Alhart and Maggie Brooks, John Dady and Stacy Pension, J Mac and Soccer Sam, Fred Costello, and Jake Zembeck, along with 21 more. How they all got from there to here. It's a new book by Bill Pucko, available for $12 postpaid only from rocksportsnow.com. Try it, and thank you.
Our Buffalo Bills segment brought to you by Connors Ferris, your trusted and dedicated workers' comp attorneys and proud sponsor of Buffalo Bills Training Camp.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here in the Rochester Press Box of Buffalo Bills segment, brought to you by Connors Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. And Greg joins us. Greg, we in the first segment kind of went for a one-loss record for the Buffalo Bills. How do you have them finishing?
Well, the Bills could go 9-8 or they can go 16-1. The way the schedule sets up, and it all depends on how the ball bounces and how they stay healthy.
He's really trying to be right, isn't he?
Somewhere
between 9 and 16.
You could have no wins. You could have 16 wins.
I'm just saying, this season, man, it's hanging in the balance here. But I think they really end up. I think it's going to be 13-4. I think the way that they're going to play. I think the way the schedule sets. They just got to be ready to have a deep run, and so be healthy in December. But I think 13-4, which many Bills fans are going to be bemoaning and crying about because they're favored in every game right now. But I think 13-4 is a realistic goal. Win the AFC East and then get into the playoffs.
I'm the most optimistic out of everybody here.
I just hope that that's not disabling for the fans. Again, to say you're going to lose 13-4 is a great record. I think you're going to come away disappointed with whatever they do because they're favored in every game.
Okay, but those are Bills fans that haven't been around for 25 years because every other year, 17 years, I'm happy with 12-5, 13-4, and a shot at the first overall seed right now.
No, you must go for the kill. You must beat every team in front of you and be the last team in February. That's what you need to be.
What are we doing, Game of Thrones all the time?
Yes, that's what this is. It's football season, week 1.
Greg, Sunday night, let's make some picks here. The Baltimore game it's a 1.5 points Baltimore is getting. How do you see it?
Yeah, I look at this game as one of the tough games the Bills are going to play all year. Look, the Ravens been playing for this game since January. Harbaugh's been game planning against the Bills since they lost earlier in January this year. I think the Ravens are getting plus 1.5. I hate to do it, but I'm going to go with the Ravens to cover.
Okay, he's got the same reasons as me and the same pick. And I think, and I'll add to that, I think the fact that the Bills didn't play any of their major people in the preseason, that tends to result in some slow starts for teams that take that approach. I'll take Baltimore.
Okay, I would argue last season that Baltimore was the more talented roster when they played them in the playoffs, and they should have won that game, and they didn't. I think Buffalo is more talented this year than they were in that game in the AFC divisional game. Because of that, I do see it as a coin flip game. I think Buffalo covers the 1.5. They're walking out of there with a victory.
I'm concerned about the preseason games, the lack of snaps. I think you're going to get this team not ready to play come the first half and maybe try to come back in the second half, but I believe Baltimore will win.
All right, we got three Baltimore.
That's making him nervous. This is making me fun. This is fun all of a sudden. Oh, no.
That's right. I'm two-time defending champion on this conference.
Oh!
I don't want to forget that.
By the way, he brought it up.
Oh!
Second game. What do you got?
I have to go with my New York Football Giants. 7.5 points for Washington. I know they're on the road, but no one believes really in this Giants team. I don't care what anybody says. They have a different sort of feel and moxie this year. I think Russell Wilson has a pretty good game. I think that you whatever you want to. Whatever you want to. If I'm going to believe, let me believe week 1.
Oh my God.
Let me believe week 1 we can win this game. I think we go into Washington and shock them.
I'm going to take the Steelers, give 2.5 at the New York Jets.
Last week you said that your Denver Broncos were a sleeper Super Bowl pick. I am so confident you are wrong. The Tennessee Titans, 7.5-point dogs on Sunday. They cover that 7.5 points.
Somebody else thinks that too, though, because that's the second highest point spread on the first week.
Interesting. Well, I stayed where I said.
Do it. Greg, what do you got?
I love Tariq's enthusiasm for his Giants. It reminds me of us Bills fans for 17 years. I love it. Now, I looked at it this way. Week 1, I was looking at which teams' coaches are on the hot seat and who's got something to prove right away. To me, one of the coaches that is definitely on the hot seat is Mike McDaniel down in Miami. They're in Indianapolis, and they're getting 1.5 against a former New York Giants quarterback, Daniel Jones, who I don't think is very good. I think the Dolphins with 1.5 win the game.
I would argue the guy that's in the easiest rocking chair is Daniel Jones. He got a lot of money to play one year.
No expectations.
Yes, exactly. If you do well,
no expectations. You're the starting quarterback.
But if you do well, you get a contract with somebody else. If you don't do well, you're exactly what everyone thought you were in the first place.
So he's this year's Sam Darnold.
I mean, best case scenario.
We'll find out.
Greg, wrap it up for us.
Hey, congratulations on 17 years. What a great accomplishment. I'm really excited for this football season, and I think we're going to do a lot of great things here. And I'm really hoping that I can actually become relatively competitive in terms of the game selections and do better than I did last year.
Well, it's 14, but who's counting?
And let's keep in mind.
Forecasting.
Yeah, he's forecasting. Yes. Let's keep in mind, he brought up how rough a year he had last year, and you guys picked the same Bills outcome this week. I just want to point that out.
It's just 1 week.
Yeah.
Our Buffalo Bills segment is brought to you by Connors Ferris. Like it or not is next.
Well, we all picked them.
Exactly.
Here's the Press Box Trivia question, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road.
Here come my top 5 barbecue getaways. Who doesn't love barbecue? Mike O'Brien, your getaway guy. When you're out on the road on a day trip getaway, where do you go? I've got some ideas. Look for the Getaway Guy now on Facebook and YouTube.
Here's the Press Box Trivia answer, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here. It's Rochester Press Box. Like it or not, Dallas trades Micah Parsons to Green Bay.
All right, first reaction, crazy, because I had it too. Now I'm a little bit concerned about this back and this epidural thing. I'm not saying Jerry Jones did the right thing, but you're taking a shot week 1 in NFL season that's got 17 plus games for now a team put on the list to possibly go to the Super Bowl.
How do you read it?
I mean, whether or not he's actually like injured, how do you only get 2 first-round picks and a player back from Micah Parsons? Trey Lance, for God's sakes. They got 3 first-round picks San Francisco for Trey Lance, a quarterback that had never taken a snap. You can argue that Jimmy Johnson got more back for Herschel Walker than they have for Micah Parsons right now, who is arguably the defensive player of his generation. I cannot understand how the NFL allows Jerry Jones,
He owns the team,
to run this like a fantasy football team. But other owners, and you know this, have started to be pushed out when they start to go senile, and the NFL doesn't like what they're doing. Like, he's insane, right? He is old enough where he's now
Those are
insane.
2 pretty serious accusations.
I don't hear anyone disagreeing with what I'm saying. You traded Micah Parsons because he hurt your feelings. That's what happened here. He wanted to look like the alpha dog in Dallas, and that's why he traded him.
But this is what happens when you are the alpha dog and you make all the decisions as the GM. So
I do think
let him crash. If he crashes, he crashes.
I do think there's an element of this. Like, well, everyone thinks I'm going to sign him. I'll show him, and just, you know, there's not a lot of logic applied to what was done here. Plus, if he was intent on trading him, he'd got a lot more if he'd done it earlier.
Live with the results. I mean, the Cowboy fans, you can still go to the games. You can still support the team. I mean,
My favorite argument from Jerry Jones, and this is how you know he's lost it. He argued that the 2 first-round picks he's getting back from Green Bay, maybe they'll find a Micah Parsons. The guy they just traded for the 2, he said that. That was a statement. I'm sorry.
Like it or not, Bill Belichick's North Carolina team gets blown out in game 1. What? Okay.
How do we not see this coming? Why did anybody anticipate that Bill Belichick, having never had a college recruiting class, a late transfer quarterback who did not look good before he got hurt in that game, why did anyone expect Bill Belichick was going to come out and perform well?
Oh, maybe the Super Bowls that he seems to be taking all the credit for, not realizing that he got lucky getting Tom Brady as the quarterback. He was able to go on a run that was unprecedented. Yes, you can still call him the GOAT, but that doesn't mean he's making the right decisions now for his career. I'll tell you one thing. I find it very interesting that everyone laughed at Deion Sanders for the Colorado game, first name out. He won his first, I believe, 7 games. This is going to be an interesting weekend where this is being taped right now. If he loses this game, this upcoming weekend, I think you have the dumpster fire you've always been looking for.
The over-under on there, the win total now has dropped to 5.
Yeah, and it's going to be, I would take the under. I took the under when we brought it up a couple of weeks ago. Look, I think Tariq brings up a really good point. Deion Sanders, however you feel about him at Jackson State or Colorado, the stuff that happens, how he dealt with his son, he was crushed by the media thinking he could walk in and be a head coach in college football. He played in a bigger conference with more competition and went out and performed admirably, not only at Jackson State, but in Colorado for the first 2 years. Bill Belichick is this untouchable coach who can't keep it within 35 points at home, prime time, to a sold-out stadium with every dignitary that UNC's ever had ever. Somebody owes Deion Sanders an apology.
I think I was interested in my own reaction. I find myself rooting hard against Bill Belichick.
Who doesn't root hard against him except for his 22-year-old girlfriend?
And that's part of the reason. I'm almost ashamed to admit it. I did this part of the reason. I think he...
Jealousy?
I say this. No, I think he embarrasses anybody that's my age. I just do.
Say you want him on your couch to recruit your son to play football for
Well, he's
him.
wearing a tie like he's selling me a vacuum cleaner. 70 new players, 1 for every point the opposing team scored opening night against him.
Okay, he's got more.
And they say in one game in college, like he's like almost eliminated his chances of getting a job in the NFL.
Yeah!
That's Like It or Not. Unfinished Business is next.
The Press Box Stat of the Week is being brought to you by McArdle's Restaurant in Fairport. Come home to McArdle's.
And now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here in the Rochester Press Box. Time for Unfinished Business, brought to you by Greg the Roofer. Better roof, better price, better call. Greg the Roofer. Save time and money on your roof, siding, and windows. Call today. Get a free estimate. Financing is available at gregtheroofer.com. Unfinished Business. Pat.
Welcome back, Gabe Davis. Your Buffalo Bills signed the former Buffalo Bill and Jacksonville Jaguar to their practice squad this week. So if we're all going to keep track here of the former Bills that re-signed with the Bills this season, you have Tre'Davious White, Dane Jackson, who was on the practice squad, Jordan Phillips, who was on the practice squad, and now Gabe Davis. If we go back 2 years, we're talking Mitchell Trubisky, Micah Hyde, Jordan Phillips again, if you want to count him. If we go back throughout the regime of McBean, Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, you have John Brown, Cole Beasley, Matt Barkley. I know Shaq Lawson. I know I'm forgetting people. We are past the point that you could field an 11-man starting lineup with the guys that have come back. Now, I don't know why Jordan Poyer, Gabe Davis, Jordan Phillips, and Dane Jackson are on this practice squad right now. I don't know if it's good for this Buffalo Bills roster, but I do know that I was wrong, because years ago, when the Bills were in their 17-year drought, you would hear things like the word culture, and I thought culture was BS. It was something that teams that couldn't win but were right on the cusp had and couldn't define it by anything else. But the fact that all of these players that went and got paid by other teams, keep in mind, the majority of these players were either looked in the face and told, you are no longer good enough to play here, or we don't think you're good enough for us to pay you this money, are back. Jordan Phillips, Gabe Davis, Shaq Lawson, Jordan Poyer went and got money somewhere else. They're back home. They wanted to be here after the team said no thank you. What does that say about the general manager? What does that say about the head coach? What does it say about the teammates that still surround them? Whether or not the Bills win, I don't, well, no, I take that back. I care a lot, but I think the reason why this team has been doing so well is a legitimate culture that fosters community. So much so that guys don't want to leave.
All I ask for my New York Football Giants is to give me 30 days of solid, hard football playing, just so I can get to looking up to the next season starts. No. I'm being dead serious here. All I ask for is just a 3-2 or 2-3 start for the New York Football Giants. I know this week against Washington, it's going to be interesting to see if they can go into Washington and steal a win away. But you've got games right after that you could possibly win, like Dallas, which everybody's worried about. Maybe the Saints and or the Chargers. So before we get to that Eagle game, which will be 1 month from today, please, New York Giants, give me everything you got for these 30 days. And if Jackson Dart should have to show up in the middle of the season, it'll all be worth it for 2026.
It was 1973. A gallon of gasoline cost 39 cents. Minimum wage was $1.60. The Exorcist was the big movie. All in the Family was the #1 TV show. 1973 was the year Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd appeared on the Billboard album chart for the first time and stayed another 740 straight weeks. That's 16 years, folks. 1973 was the year the New York Yankees pitchers Mike Kekich and Fritz Peterson swapped families, wives, kids, dogs, all of it. It worked out fine for one of them. In other sports, the Oakland A's are in the middle of a 3-year run as World Series champions. The New York Knicks won their most recent NBA title. Secretariat won horse racing's Triple Crown with a 31-length win at Belmont Stakes. And they built a football stadium in Orchard Park. It was just 3 years after the merger. The National Football League mandated a 50,000 fan capacity. The War Memorial Stadium, affectionately known as the Rock Pile, couldn't quite cut it. And with an implied threat from Ralph Wilson to move the Buffalo Bills to Seattle, they got the deal done for $22 million. And for 53 seasons, the Ralph has been the home to all the typical heartbreak and joy associated with a professional sports team. UB and Syracuse played home games there. Buffalo Sabres played a hockey game there. The Rolling Stones and the Grateful Dead performed 5 times each. In 1973, what is now Highmark Stadium was the newest in the NFL. It leaves the stage as the 4th oldest. On New Year's Eve, we rarely sing the praises of the outgoing 12 months. But as we turn the page on this, I think we'll remember the old place fondly. That's our Unfinished Business, brought to you by Greg the Roofer, and that is our show. Pat, top memory from the ref.
The week after the DeMar Hamlin incident, I went to the game against the Patriots by myself, not sure what I was supposed to do, and the first time the Bills touched the ball, Naeem Hines goes 100 yards of returns. It was tears in my eyes. It was the greatest thing I'd ever seen in that stadium.
Tell me right now, Duffy, the Bills will play the last NFL game of the season in February.
Second to last, because the last game will be second to last in Highmark, last game in the Super Bowl.
That's our program. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. The second show of the 14th season of the Rochester Press Box.
Could have just said yes.
Yes. I was confused by the question.